Shabbat Shalom, again, to everyone here, and a Shabbat Shalom to everybody who is joining over the world. And Rachel, we are so excited, etc. If you have a siddur, feel free to list melody a nigun.
Die, 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 die.
To help bring
face the door ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוכנה לך.
You may be seated. Celebrating in Jerusalem. Talal Shmei Kudesha Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tush Bechata Amen. And Gabriel.
Israel Aicha Er Anochi Beshivtecha Al Yadecha V'chayu letotafot Be'am Alecha.
Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you?
Elot O Mi Kamocha Osef Bokeh Ayam Lifnei Moshe Anedar B'Aloch.
About our need for protection. We take 3 steps to the pages.
Turn to page 51. Now it's that time of the service where we ask you to put your arms up. Ose shalom bimroma Luya ase shalom aleinu Shalom aleinu Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen.
We remain standing as we turn to the inside back cover of our Siddur. If you have it, we take this opportunity to say a Misha Barg for the Lima Prayer for all those in need of healing. So if you know anyone who needs healing, whether it's healing of the body, mind, soul, spirit, keep that name in your heart as we sing the Misha Barg inside back cover.
Misha Barg avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and all those we love. Misha Barg imotenu mekor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Almighty God, who blessed and preserved our ancestors, bring blessing and healing to all in our congregational family who are in need, a blessing of their healing of their mind, their body, their soul, and their spirit. Bring strength and wisdom to their caregivers, and strength and love to us too, God, because when we love you more and feel your love more, the ones we love feel stronger as well. And let us all say,
V'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imeru, amen.
Tikabal slotelon avuton deho Israel, kadam avuhon v'ishmaya, ve'imeru, Israel, ve'imeru, amen. Osei shalom imrumav, Yasei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, amen.
was on. Hello. Shabbat Shalom. I know I'm quiet. I'm not that quiet. In one of our classes in rabbinical school, so this was a few years ago, it was about, going to be honest, I don't remember what the class was about, but I'm sure it was good, and I'm sure I was paying attention. At least I hope I was paying attention. We were talking something about Jewish observance, the stuff you do when you're a Jew, and the impact different cultural identities within Judaism have on your observance, because, kind of what your identity is as a Jew kind of affects how you do Jewish stuff, in terms of keeping kosher, in terms of keeping holidays or Shabbat, whatever. If you're Ashkenazi, from Eastern Europe, background, then you do things one way. But there are a bunch of other sub-ethnicities, you could say, in Judaism that are not Ashkenazi, and they do things very differently. And someone in the class said, well, we, meaning everyone in the class, well, we do, X, Y, Z, because, we're all Ashkenazi here. And my husband looked up and said, well, I'm not just Ashkenazi. And they looked at him and they said, what? And he said, well, I'm mixed. I'm half Ashkenazi and I'm half Persian. And I will never forget, it's not just what this person said, they said it just like this, and it's like seared into my memory. They said, oh, so that's what you're gonna go with. That's what you wanna go with. Which, it was as if, to say that they couldn't imagine that anyone, would not choose to fully identify as Ashkenazi if they could pass, Or maybe it wasn't malicious, maybe it wasn't intentional. My husband, Ariel, he's very open about his background, his father's family. His father's parents, were Polish Holocaust survivors, and his mother's parents came to Israel from Iran. Everyone in school, I think, knew his background. It wasn't like a secret or anything, and to be honest, it was rather unusual in rabbinical school to, not be fully Ashkenazi. So maybe they just weren't thinking. Maybe they weren't thinking when they just lumped all of us into the same category and effectively erased half of my husband's identity. This weekend marks the start of Black History Month and the celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. Nowadays, when we talk about why Jews supported the civil rights movement in the 60s, and why today Jews are overwhelmingly, the heads of civil rights organizations, social justice organizations. Really, there's so many Jews engaged on the professional level with social justice. And we talk about why. We talk about, the Torah tells us. You shall not oppress a stranger, ki girim heitim be'eretz Mitzrayim, because you yourselves were strangers in the land of Egypt. So we should empathize with all who are oppressed, because we ourselves have been oppressed. And it's true, both our ancient and modern history contain reminders of all the ways that Jews are all too often oppressed for being strangers. We know how tough it can be. But I never hear us talk about the fact that the struggle for civil rights in America in the 60s, or now, is a struggle for Jews, too. Because some of us are Black, and some are brown, and some are mixed. And beyond the outer world, even, with all of its struggles and its problems that we're working on, I think we need to turn inward as a people as well. I see so often in so many contexts, not just rabbinical school classrooms, though also there, that someone refers to or teaches, our practice is, what we do, and what they mean to say is Ashkenazi practice, or what Ashkenazi Jews do, Eastern European background Jews. When Sephardi Jews, or Mizrahi, or Black, or Indian, or Latino, or any of the many myriad of subgroups of Jews practice a little differently. Now, do not misunderstand me. I am not saying we need to do away with Ashkenazi ways. Don't teach about Ashkenazi Jewish practice. No, don't do that, because that doesn't even make sense. Why would we stop teaching about Ashkenazi stuff? So many of us are Ashkenazi. But not all of us are Ashkenazi. And when we assume that we're all one way, it erases part or all of some of our Jewish brothers and sisters' identities. I literally cannot imagine how that feels. But I know my husband does. And I know my son might. And 15 to 20% of American Jews do know how that feels, because they are also African or Black or Latino or Asian or Indigenous or Roma or Sephardic or Mizrahi or mixed race Jews by heritage, adoption, or conversion. They know how it feels to not see their traditions and customs represented, to see Judaism is this, and they don't see themselves there. Or to always be assumed to be converts. Or to always be assumed that they're just okay with doing Ashkenazi stuff. Judaism is so rich. It has always been a hodgepodge of so many ethnicities and identities and practices and customs and traditions. We literally have two Talmuds for two groups of Jews who lived in two different parts of the world. And they were both Jewish, and they were equally valid. They just were different ways of doing Jewish. So when we omit, even accidentally, even out of not thinking or out of not being cognizant of the fact of the diversity of the identities of our fellow Jews, even if we weren't thinking about it, doing it on purpose, we hurt them. And we hurt ourselves, because then we are robbed of the knowledge of the beautiful mosaic of Jewish experience. And because as Jews, it's true, you should not oppress a stranger. Ki gerim heitem be'eretz Mitzrayim. You yourselves were strangers in the land of Egypt. We are not allowed to oppress strangers, even when those left feeling like strangers are our fellow Jews. So I take this moment when we are celebrating how far we have come as a country in the fight for racial equality and energize ourselves for the struggles with which we are still engaged. I take this moment to ask you to remember that not every Jew looks like Woody Allen, or ate bagels and lox in utero, or refuses to eat rice on Pesach. And that every Jewish holiday, every Jewish moment is a chance to learn about the many beautiful ways to be Jewish and to do Jewish. Pop onto the internet if you need a little help. There's a lot of great stuff out there. And sometimes we Ashkenazi Jews ourselves, even accidentally, might make some of our non-Ashkenazi Jewish brothers and sisters feel ashamed or alone or out of place, which is and should be the last thing we would ever want for any Jew. Shabbat Shalom. And now you may rise, turn to page 56 in your Siddur for Aleinu, led by our B'nai Mitzvah.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, lateit gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kachem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz u'moshev yekaro b'shamayim nihal Ushlinatu zo, megav hei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efesulato, kakatu betorato, ve'adatayom ve'hashavota elevavecha. Adonai hu ha'Elohim,
Cool. Well, some of you have to stand for this part anyway. At Beth Yeshurun, our clergy and community, of course, our hearts are with all families who are experiencing any loss. And this week, we particularly keep in our minds and our hearts and our prayers the families of Moises David Furman, Larry Ricklin, Julian Norman Schneider, Kenneth Croft, Robert Wittenberg, Melvin Cohen, Catherine Turcutt, Fruma Engel, and Mel Manton Bishop. If you are currently in mourning or if you are observing a yahrzeit, I invite you to rise, to turn to page 58 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'miram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. And you may be seated. We do have anniversaries. We have 2 anniversaries tonight, but we make up for it with all the announcements. So first anniversary, we want to wish a big hearty mazal tov to the families of, and to Elise and Howard Schultz, celebrating 37 years. Oh, it's nice to see them, even if it's only in a picture. Elise and Howard, you say you've been very blessed these past months, celebrating engagements, weddings, and milestones with your children, Aaron and Sam, Mindy, and Devin and Kevin. We know that you have so much nachas in your family from all these wonderful milestones, and it's such a joy for your entire community and your clergy to be able to celebrate with you. So mazal tov to Elise and Howard Schultz, 37 wonderful years of marriage. And celebrating 41 years of marriage, Amy and Mike Merkin. Amy and Mike, you say that you are thankful that your family has been well and safe so far throughout the pandemic, and that is honestly the biggest blessing with them all, is to know that your family is safe and well, and so we are so glad for you. We wish you many, many more wonderful years, mazal tov, on 41 years of marriage to Amy and Mike. And I promised you lots of announcements, so here they come. Lots of announcements. First, we encourage you to follow all of our weekly happenings, our new mini message, which you'll find enclosed with your monthly statements, and check out our website calendar to see what is scheduled for this month, to highlight a few things. First, this Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and the synagogue offices will be closed. We actually are going to be collecting a lot of items for the Houston Black Heritage Society's virtual MLK Day parade and their parade of giving. So we have a site here on Sunday from 3 to 5. If you'd like to drop off any new or gently used blankets, sweaters, coats, all sizes, all genders, whatever. In addition to socks, diapers, baby wipes, soap, toothpaste, and travel size, toothbrushes, deodorant, and bottled water. Again, if you want to see that list, you can go into our website, our Facebook page. We'll be collecting all those items at the Circle Drive. Again, this Sunday from 3 to 8, you can just drop your stuff off here, and we will bring it to the Parade of Giving that the Black Heritage Society is having for MLK Day on Monday. So definitely give to that if you're able. Next week for Family Friday, we always do something on Fridays for families. Next week for Family Friday, we are doing Tu B'Shvat crafts because Tu B'Shvat is coming up. Hard to imagine with how cold it is, but it's Holiday of the Trees. We celebrate it anyway. So check out our website calendar for a list of supplies that you'll need to do that craft with us. Our next Shabbat Table Talk is also next Friday. We will be welcoming Jim McInville. You will know him as Mattress Mac from Gallery Furniture, and he's one of Houston's biggest philanthropists. He's going to share his own personal story about overcoming obstacles. It immediately follows our Friday night service, so you can watch that on our website, YouTube channel, or Facebook page. Hopefully, you have seen the information about attending our virtual congregational meeting to ratify our new constitution, so kind of a big deal. It takes place via Zoom, Sunday, January 25th at 4 p.m. You can find the information to register for that meeting. That link you'll see in our weekly emails, of course, and naturally you can go to the front page of our website, and that information will be there. On Tuesday, the 26th at 7 p.m., I'm teaching a class, so that's always fun and slightly unusual. We all know Jews, we're the original monotheists, we're the first ones, which is exciting, but before that, we were pagans. And it makes me wonder, and you can explore with me, is there any of that paganism still kicking around even today? Find out, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th of January. That is on Zoom, so you just have to go online and register. It's free, open to anybody, but you do have to register for that. At the end of the month, we will be celebrating Sisterhood Shabbat. Once a year, we invite our sisterhood to help us lead services, while we have the opportunity to thank them not only for their programming, which is always great, but the many things that they do behind the scenes here at Beth Yeshurun. So it's great they get to give to us, and we get to give to them at Sisterhood Shabbat at the end of the month, 29th at 6 p.m. Well, we're almost done. On Sunday, January is a really big month for us. January 31st, we're introducing a new program, which I'm very excited about, called Making Memories. It's a 3-part kind of program, and where you get to celebrate Jewish holidays as grand friends, so grands and grandkids, an opportunity to be together, whether that's in person or virtually, in person in your home or virtually on Zoom. And we give you some holiday craft stuff, and we do a craft. And then, if your kids are old enough and they have the ability to sit through, there's a little bit of a discussion. So, I'm a Beth Yeshurun member, so it doesn't even matter if your grandkid or your grandfriend isn't Beth Yeshurun, doesn't live in Houston, doesn't matter. We're just trying to provide some nice space for grandparents to interact with their grandkids. You can register on our website. We will mail you the political lines and strengthening our democracy through respect, finding different points of view, finding common ground through a series of exercises. Also Sunday, January 31st, and please go to our website. Shop is open. It's open by 6/1881. And if you'd like to join us at Situation, you can come in person. To Gabe and his huge mazal tov to Gabe, his parents Talia and Russell, his brother Ryan, grandparents Leora and Ness Nowitz, Sandy and Bortz, Maurice Bortz, Ruben Goldbaum, and you know that your families are so proud of you, and we cannot wait. Determined. So, I think for the Kiddush, if you were in LA when I was in school, just send them good vibes. So over all of your children, if your children are here with their children, you can still put a hand on their head. And over all of our children, shine the divine face towards you always. Yisa Adonai. As we rise, turn to page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai, Borei Peri Hagafen. Baruch Adonai b'mahava uvratzon, in Bereshit, zecher letzanu mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodesh Baruch
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat Shabbat shalom, Shabbat Shabbat, Shabbat Shabbat shalom, Shabbat Shabbat shalom, Shabbat Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, thank you for joining us. Shabbat Shalom, thank you for joining us. Shabbat Shalom.